pretty wild. I started out the year trying to get into sync licensing. I was really passionate about it. I still am passionate about it. Basically, the year kind of started off strong, kind of bad. I left a job. He's trying to get behind my desk, but there's a bunch of office stuff back there. So, what is he doing? 2024. My goal was to do a song a week, and if I could, I was going to do more than that. And I definitely thought that I was capable of that. But here's the thing. I do basically everything by myself. I have like a separate like band that I work with, and him and I kind of like take over back and forth of doing things, but I was doing like only self-published stuff without him. So I was doing the production, mixing, the mastering, arranging. I was doing lyrics, vocals, instrumentation, everything I was doing by myself. Excuse me. That's just not a realistic thing to do by yourself as a musician, and I just have an issue where I think that I'm capable of doing anything. I have really high expectations for myself, and when I don't achieve them, I get really disappointed. When I wanted to get into sync licensing, I really wanted to create a larger portfolio. I worked on my website, not a portfolio, but a catalog, got a bunch of stuff together, and then I actually did start releasing music, but it was more like one every 2 weeks instead of one every week. That was how much I was releasing. That actually wasn't how many songs I was creating, because I went back to look at everything that I had done, and it was probably like 30 plus songs, including things that I had done for like my Fiverr account, and songs that I just like started, and it was genuinely just like a music production graveyard. For one reason or another, I didn't finish them. 4 of the songs that I released in 2024 actually were songs that I had for years that I just decided like, hey, I'm gonna stop being a perfectionist and I'm actually just gonna get these released. I'm gonna finish them as well as I can and release them. My songs started in February, not January. So the first song that we released in February was Deep Deep Down. Was one of the songs that I had been working on for like a year plus, maybe 2 years. I had a lot of expectations for it. I wanted to do certain kinds of vocals that I just wasn't capable of at the time, and so I just put off finishing it for a long time, even though the song was pretty good. Also, I just didn't feel like I had the mixing and mastering skills to make it sound as good as it could have been, and I was unemployed at this point, so it wasn't like I could just be paying people to do these things for me. That just wasn't gonna happen. I kind of just had to figure out on my own, and I actually sat down, got really dedicated, and released the song. Now, these songs, none of them really got any views except for when I posted on TikTok and things like that. The second song that was released in February was Sour Candy. I need you in my pocket like a backup plan. Getting irritated when my jokes don't land. Just now, Sour Candy was only a few months in the making. Realistically, it was mostly samples. It wasn't a lot of like original stuff. Mainly, I just did the mixing, mastering, arranging, and vocals and lyrics. In March, the very first song that was released in March was Shaken. The ocean isn't so wide, if you look at it this way. My heart isn't so broken. Shaken was years and years and years in the making. Shaken honestly probably took like 4+ years, I think. I did not have the skill to do what this song deserved at the time, so that was Shaken. That was the first one. The second one that was released in March was Remorse. Like a light post, broken and shattered, dearly departed, together we're gathered. In remorse, sealing it deep, the last night now, I'll live to my... Now, Remorse is that one makes me a little shy. Again, I'm like an alternative artist, but this song is like a Christian rap song, so completely different than what I usually do. Again, this one's was sample made. It was supposed to be like a little simple thing. I don't remember why I started it. I think it was supposed to be kind of reminiscent of like Sour Candy and how quick Sour Candy got done, and it was just like, oh, I want to release another short one that's catchy and good. But I had when I started the lyrics, the song started going a different way. We moved into April, and the first song we released in April, I say we, like I have multiple personalities, is Are You Ready?
It can only get so far before it gets too much. A choice is made in little time.
Some of these songs did have my bandmate on them, and they were things that like we recorded way in advance, and then I spent the time like arranging it, and producing it, things like that, and releasing it, creating the album art for them. Are You Ready was the first one of April. Are You Ready has never really gotten the traction that I felt like it deserves. I also feel like it never really got proper mixing and mastering like I wanted for it. Are You Ready is really close to home. It's a very emotional song about having people in your life that are struggling with drug addiction and the way you perceive them. I mean, if you guys have opinions on marketing these like more somber songs, I'm very interested, because a lot of my songs are very somber. The second song that was released in April is another one I did with my bandmate. This one is more it does have electric guitars, but it is more acoustic heavy. It's more of like that alternative rock pop type song.
Darling, anyway you go, I go. Any move you make.
Our second one in April is I Play Guitar.
Maybe if I break it down, maybe if I sing it loud, the nerves will get up and just walk away.
This one is another old song of mine, and I have a lot of, this is the acoustic version. I have a lot of plans for it eventually for like a full production version. So nothing was released in May or June. Now, I don't really know what was going on in May or June that caused me not to release anything, but in July, I released What Do You Work For?
What do you work for? Why do you wait to live out the life you daydream on the weekday when you're alone?
This one was specifically written for sync licensing. It was my first attempt at writing something that I felt like would be good in like a teen drama TV series. As I start working my way into sync licensing, that is something that I am passionate about. Eventually, once I get really good, I would like to compose for like video games or like a fantasy film possibly, because that's also something I'm really passionate about. But right now, with my capabilities, I do think that creating indie pop, indie alternative music for teen drama TV series is a good start for me. So that's what Do You Work For was. It was my first attempt at creating something specifically like that. Second song that was released in July was Dangers of the Heart.
I wanna be just like we used to. I wanna be someone that you know that you can come to. I remember when we started the way.
So this is the second song that I had intended for sync licensing. Again, with that kind of like teen drama series in mind. Now, Dangers of the Heart has been doing really well on my TikTok, mainly because I have a lot of ideas for marketing Dangers of the Heart. The last song that was released in 2024 was Bad at Telling Stories, and that was in August.
Telling stories. But good, I get it, my point across.
Bad at Telling Stories has probably been one of my more successful songs, because I have a lot of marketing ideas for it. That and Dangers of the Heart. Bad at Telling Stories is another song that was created for sync licensing for TV dramas, for TV teen dramas. So those are all the songs that I released in 2024. My goals definitely were not achieved. I learned a lot about mixing and about mastering and about my perfectionism. I think most musicians say this, but it is so true. You should create a release, and you shouldn't hold on to things for really long periods of time thinking that you're gonna get it perfect, even though I said that about Shaken. I still feel different about Shaken. Songs that are already good and already produced well enough, I should not be holding on to them, and you shouldn't be holding on to your songs either if you feel like they're decent. Just produce them, release them. Give your songs a chance. Get better at marketing, publishing your songs. That's honestly the biggest thing, is like, if I don't post the videos, I don't get any views. If I post the videos, I may get a couple streams on that song, or like at least one more fan than I did before. So it's better to market them than not to market them, obviously. 2024 was a year of really big changes for me as well. I moved, started a new job, and I got a pet in all of that time. So, and I left a job too, so like there was just a lot of changes during that time period. So I was not as disciplined of a person as I wanted to be, but I do think that I also became more disciplined in a way, because even though it was more like 2 songs a month for that year, that was still better than what I was doing before, which was like 2 songs a year, because I just couldn't get myself to get past my own head. And I've gotten to a point too where it's like I need to create like songs that are already good, maybe not the best, so that I can get to my better stuff. Because allowing myself to only do these little bits at a time actually is stunting my growth by not practicing. You have to practice and fail and practice and fail and practice and fail until you get the good stuff. And most of the time, the things that you think are failures are actually really good. They may just not come out the way that you wanted, but other people really like them. So in 2025, if you're a musician, you're a producer, a writer, anything like that, don't let yourself be stunted by your own perfectionism or your fears of marketing things, your lack of discipline. Just try. Set a goal for yourself, even if it's a small one, to do like 1 song a month. And that is a realistic goal. Even if you aren't good at music production or anything like that, there's so many resources. It is possible for you to create something like that. Even if you're just recording the audio on your phone, there are so many producers that record things on their phone and they put it into their super popular famous recordings. And that's the goal that I'm going to set for myself in the new year too, is to not let myself be stunted, and also acknowledge that really great things, really great pieces of art did come out of 2024. Even with my song Graveyard and not meeting the goals that I thought I was going to meet, it was still better than not having done it at all. What are your guys' goals for 2025? What things did you do in 2024 that you're taking with you? And what did you do in 2024 that you're not taking with you? If you're curious about the equipment that I use for my music production and even for these videos, it'll be linked below. As well as if you're interested in listening to any of the songs that were played today, you can see my Spotify in the link below as well. And my link tree if you don't have Spotify and want to listen to it somewhere else. I'm grateful for you being here.